Welcome to Living Big. Hey, I'm Marley.
And I'm Kylie. We're thrilled you're here. This season, we're exploring how to discover, cultivate, and balance passions with everyday life.
Through inspiring stories and actionable tips, we'll dive into turning dreams into reality, embracing creativity, and finding joy in what truly lights you up.
We're talking with creatives, entrepreneurs, hobbyists, and people who've turned passions into careers.
So stick around as we dive in. Yeah. Welcome back to Living Big. We are elated.
Good job.
We are elated.
I like your word.
Delighted. Woo-hoo, to get into today's topic because, as you know, we have already introduced it. But the topic of the season is finding your passion. Or just pursuing passion. Yeah. Not just specifically finding it, but pursuing passion.
Yeah.
So, to get us started, we have to first figure out, what are we passionate about? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're so excited. This can be big. This can be overwhelming. I know I have been there. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Have you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's like hard to believe, but I kind of want to know the story. So
yeah, we'll get into it.
But for me personally, a few years ago, more than a few years ago, it was like 4 years ago, something like that. I was having kind of a mental breakdown. A little meant to be. She wasn't little.
I remember this. I remember her.
Big and loud. And I realized that I was like my own person. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really know what I liked to do by myself. And I was kind of like upset about it.
I think you were scared.
I was scared.
Like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Who am I?
Because I very much am a type of person, or at least have been the type of person that has really enjoyed just kind of like doing what other people do. Mm-hmm. So much so that it's like kind of been detrimental to my mental health, right? Mm-hmm. Where I've like dated guys and like what they love becomes my entire personality.
Yeah.
Have you done that? I bet you have.
Did I almost take a volleyball class for the guy I was dating because I thought I was going to marry him? But spoiler alert, I would rather die than ever play volleyball. Yes. She's been there. She's done that.
It's probably dangerous. Yeah. Dare I say? She's like, I wouldn't want to. And I'm like, sis, I think a doctor told you not to.
Yeah. It's not good, but I was, I feel you.
It was not meant to be your passion.
No.
Okay.
But I was like, I will take volleyball at BYU if that's what it takes.
Okay.
So glad he broke up with me before I made that mistake.
Yeah. Dodge that bullet. Not just the volleyball. I said what I said.
No, I loved it. Ooh, burn.
Yeah. It took me a moment, and it has taken me some time even since then to really figure out what I like to do on my own, and I still kind of struggle with it. It's still a struggle to be like, what do I actually like to do by myself? Like sometimes my dear sweet husband, he's like, hey, you go do whatever you want. I'm going to take the kids. I'm going to go do something with them. You just don't even have to worry about it. And I'm like, but what do I do?
Oh, you're not going to tell me what the activity is?
He's like, no. And he like doesn't even like help me figure out what I want to go do. So like a couple months ago, this is recent. I was like, I'm going to take myself to an art museum. I don't know if that's something I would have wanted to do, but I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think I'm passionate about art, which is so funny because I went to New York for a day. I was there for 24 hours and I knew I wanted to go see Phantom of the Opera because I am very passionate about musicals and movies and music and things like that. I know that I'm passionate about that. And I went to go see the Met. Of course, I had to go see the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It was like, but I didn't think about it at the time, being like, oh yeah, I'm passionate about art. Mm-hmm. I'm passionate about all art forms. Yeah. I'm realizing.
Yeah.
Anywho, so.
The other thing is that you can always find new things that you're passionate about, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Like whether or not you already know, it doesn't mean like that's where you have to be stuck forever either. Mm-hmm. That can continue to grow and you can continue to find new things. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, my dad is absolutely passionate about smoking meats. Was that always a passion of his? Absolutely not.
Oh, but he is so good at it.
He's so good at it and it's
so
delicious.
Good.
And I benefit from it greatly.
I bet.
But you know what I mean? Like he's in his 50s, I guess in his 40s when he started figuring that out. So there's no like timestamp on all your passions. But today is the day to start discovering some of them.
Yeah. It's never too late. I will say, I feel like school and society growing up that way kind of sets us up for failure.
Yeah.
With finding our passions.
Yes.
Because we kind of think, oh, I need to have a passion by the time I'm 3 years old and I need to be pursuing that passion, quote unquote passion.
Yeah.
It's more like a career at that point, actually.
I was going to say, it's like your like livelihood.
Possible livelihood, right?
What are you going to be when you grow up wasn't what do you want to be interested in? Like what kinds of things do you want to experience? It was how are you going to make money when you grow up? Which is a good topic.
That's fine too, yeah.
But it was like,
It just, they were mixing,
yeah.
kind of confusing the story of what is really important, that
Yeah.
passions can evolve and change and grow. And yeah, like you said, there's no timestamp. So anywho, there's all of that. It has taken some time and I still struggle with it personally, but I definitely have had strong moments of clarity, even just recently. Like I know I'm so passionate about music and singing in choirs. Singing by myself, I'll do it. It's fine. I like to sing in small groups. My favorite is in choirs because I know I can sing as loud and as hard as I want because usually everyone else around me is also doing that.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel really comfortable. And I love just like the like amalgamation of all of the sounds.
And probably the camaraderie.
Oh
around it
yeah.
too.
We all just like to do the same thing, you know? So absolutely. And I just recently had a moment where I was like, I just really miss being in choir.
Yeah.
I really miss that. So like, I know there are things that I'm for sure passionate about and I need to just let go of the weird questioning it.
Yeah.
It's there and it's good. It's not that it's just like, okay, it's good that I have these passions and they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes too, people worry that if they're passionate about something, that's going to be embarrassing. Because what if your passion is like not like the normal
Right.
cookie cutter route?
Yeah.
You know, what if you're passionate about something super different than all of your friends?
Right.
Then maybe you don't even want to mention it. And so you just like hide behind that. And how sad, because you actually really, it's something that ignites joy and like
So sad.
so much life into you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's also that part of it, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Good.
Oh, I was just going to say, have you ever sat there wondering, what's my thing? What's my thing? Because it's supposed to be just one big, obvious thing that, like I said, you start when you're 3 years old. You're going to be a ballerina. You're going to be a football player. You're going to be whatever. You're going to be the next Simone Biles, right? But then you kind of have like a lot of things, or you just don't know what your thing is. How do you find it? Or how do you narrow it down? Or should you narrow it down? Ooh. Let's get into it.
Passion, where are you at? I grew up absolutely wondering about the first question, what's my thing? And being so distraught that I couldn't find it. I kept telling my mom, I really like piano, but I'm just okay at it. And I really like art, but I'm just okay at it. And I really like to sing in choirs, but I'm the goldfish of the choir, so I'm just okay at it. And I really like hosting events, but I'm just okay at it. So I was like, what's my thing? What's my thing? I was obsessed. I probably asked my mom, sorry, Mom, that you had to hear that question literally 1 million times from my mouth. And now in my adulthood, I'm like, oh, I'm multi-passionate. And I don't need to be the best at anything for me to enjoy it, for it to bring fulfillment into my life, joy into my life, and for it to be something that I pursue and maybe even spend a lot of time doing, a lot of hours doing. If it brings you joy, if it fills you up, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if tons of people do it. It doesn't matter if anyone's ever heard of it. It doesn't matter if you're professional at it.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Well, it kind of goes back to what you were just talking about, that it was almost like a career choice from the time that you're super little, because it's like, okay, what are you going to be really, really good at? So by the time you graduate high school, you know exactly what you're going to do when you go to college.
Yes.
And you're going to be able to go through college with no issues because you know what you're doing.
Won't have to switch majors because I already know what I'm going to major in by the time I'm 5.
Right, exactly. Or if you're not going to do the college route, you're going to do the professional athlete route or professional whatever route, right? It just, for some reason we thought I know why. It's not for some reason. It's because of the way that we grew up, kind of feeling like we needed to fit into a box so that way our life would be maybe a little bit easier and we'd be able to be just on an easier, quicker path to money.
Yeah.
And we live in a different time now where we don't have to do that. Yeah. If someone does that, that's fine. That's totally cool. But that's not the only way. And we don't want to, I guess, shy away from other ideas and options and passions that we might have because they don't fit into like our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that my husband and I talk about all the time is just that life is meant to be lived. It's meant to be experienced. And that doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out from day one.
Yeah.
But that means, like, this is so cheesy, but like life's a journey. It's not about the end destination, right? And so it is about that discovery phase. It's about that experimenting phase within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
We want to be safe.
I don't want to be arrested.
Yeah. We want to be safe with our bodies, all that. But it is about figuring things out and trying things and experimenting and just having experiences. And I think that that's how you live passionately, is by fully embracing life, by looking and seeking out things that can really light you up,
right?
Light your kids up, like that you can connect with other people on, that you can create that connectivity and those relationships through. And there's just so much out there to experience. And so there's not enough time.
No, there's not enough time. I think that as well.
Yeah. I'm not trying to stress you out, but that's something I think about sometimes. There are some myths that I feel like we just need to like bust right off the bat.
Yeah.
When we're talking about what it means to find your passion, you don't have to have one true passion right away. And Marley's been just like hitting that one on the head, but I just like want to nail that
one more time.
You know, like you do not have to know right away. And if it is different than what you thought it was going to be when you were age 5 or even what you spent 20 years of your life doing, it's totally okay to take a step back, examine, and pivot.
Yeah.
I just had the Friends couch pivot moment playing in my head. Pivot. Okay. Nope. Just me. All right. There's so many different definitions to passion. Passion can look different for every single person. It can be an activity. It could be a purpose that you like feel a belief in your bones that you feel like you need to go for or do or be. It could be something that lights you on fire, like I said, or something that just gets you so excited to wake up every single day. So there's lots of different avenues for passion. Passion looks different for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. All right. So let's how do we at least kind of get in the right direction or ballpark of finding maybe what we're excited about, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that an okay use of the word excited?
Yeah.
I said it. I was like, crap.
No, that one's good. That one's
good. Okay. So you can do a little passion audit. Make a list of things that you love or have always wanted to try or feel curious about. Okay. I'm sure there's things that either you've always liked or you've been like, hey, that'd be kind of fun to try. Why not? You know, make a list.
I love the idea of this because it's not even just like the feel curious about part is really interesting to me because it's not a bucket list.
No.
It's not like, oh, it's kind of like that way, you know? Maybe if it's specific activities.
Yeah.
But if it's more just a generalized, what are some things I like about the world? And then that can help you narrow down into like, what could I do with that thing?
Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So kind of like a bucket list, but way deeper.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Digging into your hobbies. If you have no hobbies, then you can kind of look back in your childhood and what were the things that you enjoyed as a kid, right? That's a really good place to start because kids live without inhibitions, right? They're just like living their little lives. And we can learn a lot from them, right? Yeah. Like, I know that my toddler is obsessed with tractors, you know? So if and when he becomes an adult and he's like, I don't really know what I like to do anymore. I'm like,
go ride a tractor.
Let's have you go ride a tractor.
See if you feel any different.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it bring back anything for you?
Does that bring you any joy, you know? So I just think about how our childhood was so free,
Mm-hmm.
or it should have been free. If it wasn't, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
it should have been free for you to just think and be excited about things. I love to like swing on the swing, just like be outside and just, I don't know what it was about swinging on the swing, but like I have vivid, strong core memories on the swing. So
No, something we've talked about multiple times. For me, I was an avid reader when I was little. In college, couldn't have paid me to read books for fun because
you were paying to read books.
yeah, sucked the joy right out of that.
Yeah.
But then that later was reignited. And I also think it's important to note here, like, pay attention to random thoughts or random interests that might come up. Like a one-off thing where all of a sudden you're like, do I want to like go to a pottery class?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the thing you're actually going to absolutely die on the hill for.
Right.
But pay attention to that random thought. Go try it.
Yeah. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
You become obsessed.
Yeah. But I think the idea of a passion audit just helps you get to know yourself better.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like me and you're saying like, well, I don't have a thing. I don't have a hobby.
Yeah.
And what do I do? What do I do?
Right.
What do I do? Where do I start? So many times with my husband too. When we got married, I was like, I just like, there are a lot of things I used to do, but I don't do them currently. So like, what do I like? And he's like, well, like, have you re-examined any of those things that you used to like?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I grew up loving anything extra girly, right? I loved anything that had to do with hair, nails, and makeup. I remember when Pinterest came out, was a thing. Does that age me? Are we at that age where
Yeah,
things age us now?
I mean, we're the first generation with internet.
With Instagram and Pinterest
Yeah.
and Snapchat and Facebook, they all
Since
came out
like, yeah,
at an age that we were old enough.
yeah. Where they were new. It
Yeah.
was the first time that had existed on the internet.
Jeez, yeah. But I remember Pinterest coming out. I still have a board that I still pin stuff to, but it's hair.nails.makeup. That's it.
I love it.
Yeah. Because I know I'm obsessed with those things.
Yeah.
And I always have been. And I have yet to let that one go.
Yeah.
So
For me, a huge one that we've talked about before was photography.
mm-hmm.
When I was little, I just always have loved taking pictures of random little things, whether that was people, nature, what have you. I turned that into a business. It doesn't mean that you have to take what you're interested in and turn it into a business.
No.
But for a long, long time, I didn't do it
Mm.
because I was scared and I didn't think that it could be my passion anymore. But then I was like, why not? Why not go for it? But it can be as simple as, I like to think of it like this. Like when I was a little kid, I was the most imaginative kid there was. I created so many worlds, so many imaginary games. And my imaginary games weren't the normal, like your mom, your dad, and we have a kid and I'm cooking dinner. It was like maybe a little bit weird. Because I'd be like, see these shiny pieces of paper? This is an alternate universe, and these shiny pieces of paper are this like thing, and they have relationships, and we're going to create an entire world around them, and you have to carry them in your pocket, and we would put them in different people's lockers, and then they would engage with them. Like weird, okay? But very imaginative.
Creative.
So how can I take that and apply that to now? You know, do I still play imaginary games? You know, maybe a little bit as my kids get older, I'll
You have
engage
toddlers,
with them.
yeah.
But on a day-to-day basis, I'm not walking around like pretending I'm a princess or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can take that and I can be like, okay, how can I apply that? Do I want to write stories? Do I want to take that creativity, that imagination, and turn it into videos for social media, content,
Family. Are you creating this beautiful book?
Yeah. You know, and so there's so many different aspects that you can take. Yeah. Journaling, scrapbooking, whatever it may be, storytelling. Just take something that you loved when you were younger and like start to experiment, push and pull with it, see what you can do with it now.
I think that a lot of life comes back to this kind of skill, being able to recognize how you feel in a certain situation. Okay. I think it's important to kind of maybe even look at it in like a meditative way. Whatever it is that you're doing, being able to slow down and think to yourself, do I actually like this? And if you do like it, What do you like about it? Get curious. I think that's like, that's a whole different conversation, but that's a really incredible and very important skill, I think, that we can learn to develop in our lives is being able to reflect on those things. Growing up, I loved to ice skate, and I was never like good at it. I just liked to do it. It was so fun. Ice Princess came out when I think I was like 12 or something like that when that came out. And it was a fun thing to do in the heat of Texas to go to an ice rink. And we did that a lot growing up, and it was really fun. And I was always so fascinated by people who were doing, practices and things like that. And so like just recently we went to an ice show and we saw Steph. Yeah. It's so fun that I get to like reference people that we've talked to. Like it is the funnest thing. I saw Steph do her thing and she was so good, and it was so fun to just like sit there and watch. And I was like, you know what? I still love ice skating. Maybe not 100% for like me to get out there and try and do what they're doing, but just like I'm so fascinated by the skill that it takes to do that.
Recently went to a hockey game.
We went to a hockey game and it was so freaking fun. That's going to be a new passion, as with everyone else here in Utah, because hockey is so fun. It's really fast paced and it's all over the place, and it's very like physical, and it's just fun. Anyway, but yeah, so just being able to reflect and say, am I really enjoying this? Yeah. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Would I want to do this more? Would I, maybe want to invite another friend to do this with me, different things. So get curious about whatever it is that you're doing.
One of my favorite questions to think about to help me kind of test things out is, when was the last time I felt totally in my element or literally lost track of time and could just keep doing that thing forever? Yeah. That's a good indicator. Yeah. That maybe that's something you're passionate about. Yeah. If you literally go to another universe and like don't even remember that you were here.
Oh my gosh. You're quoting basically Soul. I don't know if everyone has watched Soul, but everyone needs to watch Soul. It's such a good movie because it is about exactly what we're talking about, finding your passion. I just thought about that. How do we not think about this?
Movie night.
I know, we should watch Soul because the idea is that we got this little kind of spirit that doesn't know what its spark is.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't know.
Are we just like rehashing this movie?
I think we are. I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait.
In this theme, we're like, oh, so Soul, basically.
Just go watch Soul, right?
Listen to us too. Just kidding.
Yeah, that there's a difference between purpose and passion.
Yes.
That's the main lesson of that movie, is there is a difference between the two. Anywho, and so that's the idea, is there's a moment where they have like the person that they're following, whatever, gets into the zone, and they basically they go to a different universe in this movie, and that is one of the coolest feelings when you're like, oh, what time is it? Yes. Because you were just like in that flow state, I think is what it's called, actually, if I remember right. You're like in the zone, you're in the flow state where you are not even conscious of what is going on other than what you're passionate about in that moment.
Something that is just so cool to me is that we're so different. Like someone is meant to be in the flow state when they're like barbering someone's hair. Yeah. Versus like
computer programming. Yeah. I'm making a video game and I'm so engrossed in it.
Like it's just so fascinating to me. I want to hear everyone's passions because I'm just like tell me why that lights you up. Like that's not something that necessarily I experience, but it fascinates me that it like we're just so unique, so different for so many amazing reasons. But I think that's so cool.
Are you like me and you follow people that are passionate about something that you have no business or plans to get into?
Or even interest in?
Nope.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's this really cute girl I follow who she's not just a high diver, she's like a crazy diver. She dives for Red Bull. Okay, so you know that what she's doing is crazy pants. Anywho, she's super cute. Her name is Molly, but what she does is she goes and dives all over the world off of the most terrifying looking things. I have a fear of jumping off of things.
I wouldn't be able to do it either.
No
way.
And she's always like, ooh, I'm a little scared. And then she does it. And she comes back and she's like, that was incredible. And I'm like, good for you. I love that energy. I love that passion.
And I want to watch you do it.
But I don't ever want to do that.
I don't want to experience it.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's like illegal because I would die.
Yeah.
But I love that. I think people are excited for whatever people are passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we really, really feel that. Like we want to hear all those things from you. So actually share those with us.
Yeah.
Because I'm so curious about what lights you up and why.
Oh my gosh. Social media this weekend is going to be so fun.
I know.
We're going to have all the questions for you guys.
Can't wait.
Oh, yes. So it doesn't have to be a huge thing, right? You don't have to go diving off of crazy cliffs.
Yes.
Okay. But they can be little things. They can be like small things that just give you energy and joy throughout your day. Yeah.
As small as playing some music on your phone. You know? Like it can get that small.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a musician
No.
to enjoy music. You don't have to like be a performer or want that or whatever. Like it can start with such small things. Small.
Yeah.
We're here to encourage you to take action, to do stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And we want to help you know what to do when you don't have a clear passion, because that's for a lot of people like very, very real. And so our first and foremost invitation, I guess, is to just try it. And we've talked about that, experimenting with different things. And we want to hear from you guys. When did you try something that was maybe totally out of your wheelhouse or just out of curiosity and you just went for it and maybe it led somewhere unexpected? For me, an example of this is I really like to encourage this with other people. So I was at church. I was invited. Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
You were assigned?
I was assigned to be the young women camp director. And I graduated young woman like not that long ago. I mean, it feels
12
like
to
not
18.
that long ago, you know, at the time that I had done, I was doing this, I was what, 25, 26?
Say, yeah, 25, 26.
And so I was like, I feel like I am one of them a little bit. And so it was a little bit daunting, but I was also really excited and super passionate about helping them do some things that maybe they would never want to do again in their life, but maybe they would.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to like challenge them to be curious, to try new things. And I had no pretenses that they were all going to leave like avid mountain bikers, because I'm not.
Yeah.
But I was so excited. We went to Moab, and my entire intention of the trip was just let's let them experience as much as we possibly can in these few days that they might never do again otherwise.
Yeah.
And maybe someone will find something they're passionate about through it, and maybe they won't, but they'll have tried it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool. So I made my girls do so many things. In 4 days, we went mountain biking, which was a feat. We literally brought mountain bikes from northern Utah to Moab for 30 girls.
That's a lot of bikes.
It's a lot of bikes.
How did you transport that many bikes?
There was a dude in our ward who had the most insane contraption I've ever seen. And he fit like 20 of them on the back of his truck. I'm not even kidding.
Was this not like a Velocirac or something?
No,
What
he
was
made
this?
it.
Oh.
It was insane.
Oh, so he's an eager.
Yes, it was so cool. I'm not even kidding, because the bishop was like, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, but like how on earth?
Logistically, how are we going to get 30
how are we going to do this? Because renting bikes was out of the budget.
So expensive.
But it was really important for us to do this. And so I was like, how? None of the girls have mountain bikes at their house. So we had to source them.
If there's a will, there's a way.
We had to source them from all over the ward.
Yeah.
Get people who would be willing to let us take them. We weren't doing any crazy mountain biking.
And let me put a little disclaimer. Here in Utah, people are a little bougie when it comes to mountain biking. So people have expensive bikes. They got nice
loaning
bikes.
you their bikes is kind of scary. So we
Yeah.
were like, okay, listen, we're doing like bunny trails.
Yeah.
Like we're not going hardcore or anything like that. I knew what we were dealing with. I'm
good.
like, I want everyone to try it. I don't want anyone to die or get hurt. And I didn't want to also kill anyone's bike. So anyway, but we logistically made that happen.
That's amazing.
We took them all down. We not only mountain biked, we went hiking like 5 times in 3-4 days.
That's a lot. It's pretty good.
We went at night under the arches to see the stars. all of the girls, even the ones who hated hiking, were like, that was unreal cool. I'm like, that's so awesome.
That's so
We
cool.
went during the day. We had an absolute blast. We made it really exciting and different for people. We went swimming. People tried high diving for the first time.
Ooh, so
we
fun.
went whitewater rafting. We were camping. We did crafts. We just did everything you could think of. Cooking, public speaking. I made every single girl speak at some point
How
during
ironic.
I know.
You hate that.
But I always forced myself to do it. So I was
Okay.
like, it's good. It's a good skill for everyone to practice. It's a
Wow.
good skill for everyone to do. We did music, just everything
Yeah.
you can think of. Everyone participated in cooking. Everyone participated in music. Everyone participated in public speaking. Everyone participated in swimming. Everyone had to try everything. So sorry, but that was the fact. So
She's so cool. I think you're so
I'm
cool.
just really intense.
I love it.
And I told them, I'm like, guys, it's totally okay if you don't like this, but you have to try this. And then you never have to do it again if you absolutely hate its guts.
Yeah.
Like, that's so valid. But how are you going to know? And you can't say you hate it unless you've tried it. And so that was really, really fun. And I have that philosophy with myself as well. I'm like, let's try it. Maybe it's going to lead me somewhere unexpected. Maybe it won't. Okay, we tried it.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
So.
love that. So cool.
I just want to emphasize it's totally okay to not have everything figured out. It's totally okay to not know everything. Like we talked about earlier, the journey of discovery is like part of the passion.
Yeah.
It's part of the fun. And exploring is just the very, very best.
Yeah.
Small steps. Just start small. Just so small. And this week, we're going to invite you to do something small to try and start getting those juices flowing. Take a class, join a community, join a Facebook group, or simply allow yourself to be open to new things without expectation. Just do the audit.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah. I love that. So what happens after you find your passion or passions, if you're like us, and we're just
Extra.
either masochistic or overachievers, however you want to look at it, right?
Yeah.
So once you start to identify what you're liking, it's time to incorporate it into your daily lives or, your weekly lives, whatever it looks like. Obviously, life still goes on and you have to be an adult or whatever,
Yeah, you can't just do the passion. I mean, that would be obsession.
Yeah, that would be a session. That's when it's a problem.
Yeah.
But there are definitely ways to do things. It may take a little coordination. I feel like we've said these things kind of before. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I am not really passionate about working out.
Yeah.
But I like being with other people. I like finding community and trying to make friends or whatever. I think that's like something I'm passionate about. So I joined a gym that focuses on that.
Yeah.
And so it's important for me to get interaction with other people that are not my children or my toddler. Mom, look at this, constantly, all day, every day. I love his guts so much, but that's literally all he ever tells me every single day. So I need more stimulation outside of that. And so sometimes it takes a little coordination and kind of finagling and working with my husband. It takes a little planning and preparation sometimes, depending
Give
on
and
how
take.
big it is. Yeah.
Sacrifice.
I mean, that is so true. The give and take thing. My husband, he has found a new hobby slash passion. Why is that hard to say? slash passion. He has found a new one and he bought an adventure bike. It's a mountain dirt motorcycle.
Yeah. Road and
It does everything.
off-road.
Yeah. But the one that he got, it needs some love. And he didn't know anything about fixing dirt bikes or motorcycles up until 2 weeks ago. A week ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Up until very recently. But now he's obsessed and he's so excited. And maybe that means that I am putting the kids to bed by myself so he can work on it because he's so busy during the day. And I know he needs to be able to just decompress and do something he enjoys.
Let off some steam.
Just let off the steam because he's been in meetings all day long. Like from sun up to sundown and then some, right? If you feel this way, it is worth it to have the conversations to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. I found a gym where I can take my kids there, so I don't have to put that on my husband, right? But there are definitely times like tomorrow night, we got book club, and book club is very important to me because I need that social interaction with people. And I like to read, and I like to have deep conversations. Deep conversations is actually really important to me.
Yeah,
that's like
one of your passions.
That's, I would say, even one of my love languages is deep conversations. That's like how I build relationships is by having deep conversations. So I know my husband's going to have to do bedtime by himself tomorrow, and it is what it is, but that's okay because we just take turns doing it. And there's not really a way to make it even. There's just communication. There's saying, hey, I'm feeling like I really need a break. You know, take a page out of Bluey. I feel like I can reference a Bluey episode every single time we record.
I love
it. But when, you know, Chili, she needs her 20 minutes away from her family to do whatever she needs to do. You know, like when you're feeling like there's something just missing, it is possible. Oh my gosh.
And it is possible to fit things in. Even I look at this podcast as a huge example. It's something we've talked about for forever.
Yeah.
And something we wanted to make happen, but we both have kids all day, every day.
Yep.
And
I had a full-time job up until like 2 months ago.
And same. And
yes,
we had babies and everything during it. And honestly, this isn't something we can super record with them in the background because
they'd be screaming.
It doesn't work.
No.
This isn't something, there are passions I can do with my kids.
Yeah.
Or while they're awake. This is not one of them. And for me personally, for my husband, in order for this to work for us, we had to set up a schedule where, whether you know this or not, we have to batch our content so hard. We do multiple episodes when we record.
Yep.
And we have to do it after our children are asleep.
Yep. And that's okay.
And we make it happen.
Yeah, we just make it happen.
And it's still so fun. I love it. But it is something we had to like
finagle a little bit,
carve into. And that's the thing though, is it's possible. You're thinking to yourself, my day is too full. My life is too full. I have too many responsibilities. I have too much of this. Well, that's all true. You can carve things that you are passionate about or enjoy into your day.
Yeah. Yep.
And you should.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. You are worth it. It is worth it to bring pure joy, to maybe go to that flow state.
Yes.
And to feel that.
You're going to be healthier, honestly.
And what beautiful gift is that to show your kids that I am a whole human as a mother. If you have kids, like I want my kids to recognize that they can be multi-passionate. I want them to recognize that they don't have to have one thing that they're passionate about that then becomes their career and that's it. I want them to see, oh, my mom loves me and she loves all these other things.
Yeah.
That's so cool that she does all these things.
She can be passionate about family life.
Yeah.
And she can be passionate about embroidery.
I'm also scared of the day when my kids leave my house and it's just me.
Yeah.
My husband's still working and it's just me. Like, I don't want to fear that day. That seems super like doomsday-ish, but like, I don't want to get to that point because I feel like it's so common for women who have been mothers for the majority of their life. By the time that their kids leave their house, that they're like, I don't really know what to do with myself. So I need to like figure out how to take care of other people. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend my entire life just taking care of people because while I love my children, taking care of people is not my passion.
Yeah.
It doesn't light me up with joy.
Yeah. And maybe it does for you.
Yeah.
And like, power to you. That is absolutely amazing. But I just have to reiterate, like, finding passion is the best thing for your life.
Yeah.
In whatever sphere, right? Like, genuinely seek out things that bring you so much fulfillment and so much joy. And it is not, you do not need to feel guilty. You do not need to feel like you are hurting other people or inhibiting other people. If you're not being obsessed, having passions is necessary to be alive.
I feel like you've told me these exact words multiple times where you're like, you don't need to feel guilty.
I'm saying that for all of us, including myself.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm just like reliving some of those moments where I'm like, I swear you have told me those exact words.
I tell them to myself because
I know.
sometimes I'm like, I should quit that. Like that's inconveniencing other people. And then I'm like, but
you're not an inconvenience.
it lights me up.
Yeah. So it's worth it.
And they want that for you too.
Yeah.
Deep down, if they're good people in your life, they want that for you too.
That's a whole different other conversation.
Yeah.
But your people should care about what you care about.
Yes.
Maybe they don't love it too and don't get into it with you. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they should care to help make time for that thing.
And you should care about your people
To help
and
make
giving
time.
them that opportunity as well.
If that's scary, if that's like a whole new thing to you and your relationships, to making time for your things, that might be really scary.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Start really, really small.
Mm-hmm.
I would say just,
Yeah.
you can do it, but do it. It's so worth it to just take the time, because one day if you don't, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Because that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it was scary and it was frustrating and I felt guilty and I felt all these awful emotions. Hated it.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And you might resent other people, but like you also might resent yourself if you get to that point.
You will resent yourself.
Yeah.
If you get to the end of your life and you're like,
Dang, I really, 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 really wanted
yeah,
X and I never tried.
I was too scared to ask. I was too scared to try or whatever. So
It's challenging, but guys, like we are here to literally scream in your ear, not whisper.
hype
sweet
girls
nothings.
here.
We're yelling in your ear to do the thing. Start small, but please, for all that is holy, do the thing.
Do the thing. And while you're at it, watch Soul.
And we love you. So do the thing.
Do the thing. And we can't wait to see what those things are.
Yeah.
That's what I'm so excited about. Is
Yeah.
like, we can talk about our things all day long.
Yeah.
But like, I want to see what you're excited about. Let's bring a little passion to social media this week and beyond.
It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. We are so curious about it. So we want you to share on social media. And like I said, our challenge for the week is for you to pick one new thing to try. Whether that's doing the audit and picking something on there that you want to just research more, or literally saying, I have wanted to do X for so long. I want you to put a date on the calendar.
Do it.
Whatever that looks like for you, one new thing to try this week, something you've always been curious about, something that excites you, and your homework is to report back. How'd it go?
Yeah. And we can't wait to hear.
Passion is a journey. You got this.
Yeah.
Don't seek for perfection.
It's also not linear, right? It's an all over the place type of journey.
So let's get pumped.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Love you guys. Bye. Thanks for joining us this week on Living Big. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you liked this episode, please leave a rating and review.
Join the crew on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for all the behind the scenes, fun, and more. We are incredibly grateful for the community we're building and can't wait to see the growth going forward.
Don't forget to check out Living Big Labs for all of your social media management needs.
Living Big Labs is here to help small businesses thrive by taking the stress of social media off their shoulders so they can focus on what they love and do best.
And remember, you have our permission to let go and live without missing opportunities to connect with other humans. Pursue your passions, no matter how ever changing.
Have fun and live big.